listening to a Very Barrie Colts Podcast with your hosts, Ryan Noble and Ryan MacArthur. On today's episode, the Barrie Colts after 2 weeks, no Colts radio, and attendance again. So enjoy. And welcome to a Very Barrie Colts Podcast, episode 4. Luckily, we've not been canceled already, but the beauty of running the website is I decide what we continue doing or not. So until then, you guys are still stuck listening to us. Today, it's me, Ryan Noble, and with me, I've got Big Kris from Big 101.1. How are you doing today, Kris?
Hello, Very Barrie Colts land, or nation, or whatever. Do you have
whichever
a name?
The smaller version of that would be? I think we would
Posse.
go with that. Posse, yeah, maybe crew.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go with posse. It sounds cooler.
All right, yeah, posse makes you sound gangster.
It does.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's cool to be here. Love the Colts. This is my third season watching them, and so far so good. Yeah, excited, and we've been collaborating a little bit too on the side too, Ryan. So it's nice to get on mic with you.
No, absolutely, and it's the first radio appearance was actually on the morning show there. What was that? Was that 2 years ago now, or?
Yeah, that was a couple of iterations of morning shows ago. Yeah, I think now.
Yeah, I think that was when Mark was there.
Was Mark Davis? Oh, yeah.
Mark, and I think it was at the end of the season where I predicted that the team would probably maybe get Ryan Suzuki, but probably somebody else.
And
they ended up getting Suzuki, which is good.
There you go.
So anyways, Kris here is on Twitter, on the Twitter machine if you use that. So be sure to give him a follow. It's at Big Kris, Kris with a K, K-R-I-S, radio. And,
yeah, that's a weird thing about me is Kris with a K, but yeah, Big Kris Radio, all my things, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything.
It's smart branding. I try to do the same thing with the blog, just to have everything the same, just in that way. You know, like with the Colts, they've got like a different handle from their Instagram.
I know. What the shit is that? Yeah, it's not cool.
It's they can work on that, I guess. But it's not my job to tell them what they need to do. We're just going to focus on what we do at the website. And,
yeah, that's right.
That's just basically put cat heads on stuff and just, pray that someone's still going to click on links. So
the lighter side of life.
Right now, I guess the first thing we're going to look at is just how the Barrie Colts have been through the first 2 weeks of the season. They've got a 2-1-1-0 record, which is good enough to have them in third place for the Central. Right now, they've been lighting it up goal-wise. 23 goals for, which is the most in the OHL, tied with the Saginaw Spirit. It doesn't hurt when you have guys like Ryan Suzuki and Lucas Chiodo putting up 11 points each, and and obviously the import pick, Matej Pekash, depending on how you say it. I was told it was Pekash. Daryl at Games still says Pekar, so I.
Oh, really? Because I've been saying Pecker.
You know what? And it's funny because I don't know. We just added gold GIFs. I'm guessing GIF because it's like gift, GIFT. Anyways,
and that GIF moves,
right? And exactly. And trying to just before they had any images of them was when I was setting them up because I wanted it ready. So initially we actually had an image of Woody Woodpecker, which I was ready to use for that. Nice, then I saw in the Elite Prospects that it's actually pronounced Pekash. But then Daryl threw me off, so here we are, just still guessing what that poor kid is. Anyways, thanks for contributing to the team there, Matej. I'm going to say Matej. On that note, I'm done butchering the names for now. Lots of points. Not many of them have come from the power play, though. Right now, the Colts just have 20% success rate on the power play and 87% on the penalty kill. They've been getting a lot of production, like we said, from that top line with Pekash, Suzuki, and Chiodo. 30 points combined, which is just incredible for one line through 4 games. Suzuki and Chiodo had 5-point games there last week, and actually Chiodo was named the OHL Player of the Week. And
yeah, I saw that. Certainly awesome to see, and to see some potency already in the offensive. I mean, are you telling me, though, that the power play hasn't been that good? Are you telling me that 10-goal blowout of Sudbury the other night, that it was all 5-on-5?
Yeah, no, a majority of them, yeah. They, wow. And again, 20% isn't bad. Like that's not
I know,
but I mean, it could be with the amount of point production that we're getting from those top guys.
Yeah.
You would think that But anyways, that's something that'll improve once some of these other guys start to pick up. Jason Williams has been good. He's putting up good points right now. Joey Keane and Tyler Tucker both are they both have 5 points each right now, which is outstanding. Tucker's got 2 goals already, which he's 1 goal away from getting his career high last season of 3. So St. Louis camp obviously helped him out a lot. Also, guys like Aiden Brown, right now, through 4 games, he's just got 1 assist, but he's going to end up start getting some goals. He's hit a few posts. He's just not connecting. But those pucks will start to find in the back of the net. You've been to a few games already this season. Which players have you enjoyed watching so far the most?
It's predictable, but Kyoto. Yeah. He was OHL Player of the Week.
Right.
It's predictable. It's a safe choice, but that's who I'll go with.
He's been so good. It's just that top line has just been insane, And it's really good to see a guy like Kyoto go out there and just put up the points that he does, especially when you consider that, yes, he's in his OA season, but he was a 15th round pick for the team. So to see a guy from the area come into the system as a late pick and just develop the way he has, he's been incredible for the team. And, with getting top line minutes with those other 2 is just going to help his production. I would be shocked if those guys didn't creep on the 100 points each this season.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And we haven't had a season like that since back when we had Blandisi, LeBanc, and Mangiapane posting 100 points each the 1 year. So, and those were pretty good years.
That's pre-me.
that's just before you. I think you just missed out on that time. That would have been right before you.
Yeah, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, totally. So, but it's and we're getting it from the back end, like we said. Tyler Tucker, Joey Keane have been good, and Jason Wilms, he's also got 5 points, 1 goal, 4 assists, and Ben Howardchuk with 3 goals and an assist already. That's 7 different players on the team that are already averaging at least a point a game. Granted, it's through 4 games, so we don't want to get too excited.
Yeah, but that's what you like to see, like a little bit of scoring from everyone,
No, absolutely, and that's and once we can get some of those other lines kind of getting some more points out there, like we mentioned, Aiden Brown, some of the rookies too, as they find their stride, they'll start getting some points up as well, and it's hopefully soon. They'll end up just, putting more pucks in the net. And this team, they didn't get a lot of hype from a lot of people. But I think they could end up being a real threat in the East anyways. The only team really that I think that they need to really worry about is Niagara. But, it's one of those situations where if these other depth guys can start fighting the back of the net and, goaltending hasn't been an issue either. We've got both Zukov and Edmonds have gotten 2 starts apiece. It's been pretty wild, actually, to see the first weekend Zukov played both the games, and then last weekend it was Kai who got the 2 starts.
It doesn't feel like a goaltending controversy, though, as sometimes they love to drop on SportsCenter. It's a goaltending controversy. Who are they going to go with? No, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like they're both playing well, both getting time.
And when you take into consideration, we've also got Jet Reeves, who's yet to get a start this season, and Colts fans are pretty excited to see him. I know we've hyped him a lot leading up to the season. He had a great camp, and he's just, I would imagine he would probably get a game this weekend with the Colts playing back-to-back. I would imagine Zukov would probably get the start tonight, and maybe they'd throw Kai in on Saturday. And with it being not Kingston, but Kingston being the weaker of the teams that we're playing this week, I would like to see the team maybe consider putting him in, but it's. I guess we can just wait to see how the coach plays it out. But like you said, we don't have any real controversy other than we've got 2 really good goalies and a very, very good rookie that hopefully can come in, fill in for some games.
It's a great problem to have.
It really is, So it'll be good. And who knows? Maybe they've been, showing both the guys because, I wouldn't rule out the possibility, especially having Jet Reeves waiting on the back burner there. Maybe they would consider trading one of the goalies.
A little show and tell. Yeah.
Exactly. And both goalies have put out, goaltenders are always a welcome addition to most OHL teams. Yeah. So it's, just have to play out and see how they end up on doing that, I guess. Yeah. And, hopefully this weekend coming up, they'll maybe each guy will get a field, but, we'll see. Like I said, they haven't really announced the goaltenders yet for tonight. I still would assume it'd be Zukov with Kai getting both games last week, but we'll find out. Well, one of the main reasons, actually, that other than you just being a likable guy and someone that I enjoy talking with, that we brought you on here was the Colts not having any radio coverage whatsoever. I figured if anybody could help enlighten our followers and myself, because honestly, we discussed it a little bit, I think, the last time you guys had me out.
Yeah.
But we didn't get too in depth. I was optimistic that by now we'd have at least like a stream through the website or something. But I'm pretty sure the Colts are the only team in the OHL that doesn't have any radio coverage whatsoever.
Yeah, so the way, I mean, here, I don't know the ins and outs particularly of sports broadcasting or sports coverage rights or broadcasting rights for hockey teams or anything like that. I'm not specialized in that, but the way I look at it, though, is that the reason we've lost, or a lot of teams have lost, their traditional radio coverage of their OHL teams, and even in some cases NHL teams, is because the loss of AM radio. And you always, at least when I was younger, and I always, whenever I think of a ball game or a hockey game or any sporting event on the radio, it always, for some reason in my mind, sounds like AM radio.
Mm-hmm.
And FM has always been sort of dedicated to the music side of things. And when you think of, a brand like Nike,
mm-hmm.
you expect certain things from that brand. And so for a radio station that's playing pop music or rock music or whatever, the audience is sort of subscribed to that music. And so to stop a music station and all of a sudden switch to, now we're a sports station
mm-hmm.
For a couple of hours, and then we just go away and then it's a music station again, is kind of counter message. It's kind of counter brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think a lot of FM music stations are very excited or very willing to make that move.
That would be a big commitment on that end, especially when you're trying to hype your radio or music side of things, and then to all of a sudden say, okay, just stop that.
Kills the vibe, right?
Totally.
Like you're in the middle of Katy Perry, and then all of a sudden we're into the first period or a pregame show. Like it's like it's a little weird, right? So so that's one thing to consider, and then also, there are some stations that still do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of the stations that do that, it's because the audience that comes with it is so large and already comes with built-in advertisers that it's financially worth it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if they already have an advertising, or the hockey club is willing to pay X dollars, if they've got a huge bank account that they're willing to spend on having hockey rights or some kind. I don't know how hockey rights work or broadcast for them work, but I'm assuming there's some kind of money that can change his hands somewhere along the line.
Absolutely.
And the stations that are doing it, interrupting their music flow to put hockey on, whether it's NHL or OHL, they're doing it only for financial reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, I'm afraid. So that's the kind of the breakdown of the why. Why it happens like that. And it's unfortunate because, I think we're media-wise getting a little more regional, or a little more globalized, if you will. And when I say regional, I mean like provincial, regional, where it's not as local in terms of the coverage of news or stuff that we get. And so I think that, it's unfortunate that a local hockey club that has a really good history, like in Barrie or any city, that they don't get that sort of opportunity to have a broadcast,
And again, like you said, at the end of the day, it's all about money. And I mean, I could sit here all day and say, like if understandably so, if they cannot find like an FM channel that's willing, which to me, like, I mean, I get from that perspective, but with the amount of you go to BMC, which will eventually be renamed, you go into the arena and the amount of different, I mean, we'll only mention Big here, but you see all over the place. You see radio ads for everything. You look at the Zamboni and there's a radio ad. You look at the new scoreboard, there's a radio ad. So it's just wild to me that, the money is there in that sense, and they're willing to put that in. But I guess from the other way around, it's just that the team isn't either putting out something that is appealing enough, or just again going against. And I totally get the not going against, like especially at that time frame. You got people that are working maybe in the city who are driving home that just want to have music on in the background, and not everyone's going to want to, for example, turn Big on, for that drive and listen to a Colts broadcast.
Yeah, there's that, and from the people driving home from work for sure. That's the concern of a radio programmer, and then from the end of those stations are buying ads all over the arena. That's true. It's crazy. It's plastered, but the stations are spending money with the Colts, and so they're supporting the Colts in buying advertisement in the arena, yes, to get their logo in front of people. But it's almost the other way around now. We're buying, or as a radio station, advertising. Colts aren't buying advertising from us. We're buying it from them. And so it's because we want the people who are in the stands to tune into our radio station. If they're in the stands, they're not listening to a hockey game. You see, so it's kind of like that we want them to drive out and tune on, Led Zeppelin on Big FM on their way out of the parking lot. That's the experience we want to buy.
Here, listen to our station who will be covering a game that, we're trying to get you to go to anyways, when in reality we want you to be listening to us. So.
But on the other hand, I do lament local OHL broadcasts. One of my first gigs in radio broadcasting was producing an OHL broadcast back in the studio. I had to be the guy, it creates jobs in the media business because somebody needs to work these games.
Absolutely.
And then B, it's just, I think, good for the community to have access to that, and it's good for the team and it's good for everybody. And
promotion's a huge side, which obviously Barrie could definitely benefit from any kind of promotion like that whatsoever.
And I don't know what it's like to be an OHL player, but maybe it adds a little star element. You feel more like a star if you're on the radio. If you're the games are broadcast somewhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it's all about promoting the team. And and one of my other questions would have been, but I mean, obviously the money side of things kind of covers that. Is it's easy to sit here and say, that the team could just, let's say, through the app, for example, the Barrie Colts app, which I've not been able to log into. If somebody is in that end of through the Colts hears this, I've not been able to sign in for a long time, so I think there might be something on your guys' end. But if the app was working, I always wondered why they couldn't just have a game broadcast
their own stream.
Because a lot there are teams that aren't on radio, for example, in cities that don't have AM networks that do that.
That's for sure my idea for a compromise is self-start it, and that's the thing about the internet these days is anybody can. You have a podcast, Ryan. I have a podcast. Anybody can have a podcast or a live video, Facebook Live, or anything. And all it takes is just a little bit of preparedness and money, which the Colts definitely have, to invest in something like that. It would not take a lot for them to start that up. It probably wouldn't even take a lot for them to start up. This is a weird analogy, but as Ryan knows, I play the bagpipes, and I do this bagpipe thing where I drive around to different Highland games throughout the summer. But there are some Highland games where you go, and they, for the day, have a license to broadcast an FM radio signal, so that you can be tune in to the games for the results or the whatever that's going on the side of the games, or the bagpipe music or whatever you want to hear on the radio around the town that the Highland Games is happening in. So there is a way to get, I don't know, again, I'm not fully versed in licensing and so forth, but I think there is a way to get a temporary event-based FM license. So even if the Colts, and again, hey, if someone from the Colts organization is listening, by all means reach out to me. I'd love to help you with this project, free of charge. I just, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, can you edit out that free of charge thing?
Well, no, I'm sure we can make it we'll put one of those censored sounds over. We'll just pretend you curse.
Yeah. But anyways, you could set up just on game night, have an FM broadcast for the people who can't come to the game to listen to it at home, and then as soon as the game's over, the broadcast is gone, and people just know that Colts radio on game night is 88.7 or whatever the frequency is, and then have it online as well through the app, cover all the things, and all of a sudden you've got your own following. You've got your own stream. People can come straight to the tap. You don't need a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then once again, even through something like that, it's another situation where the team can generate more money because we
sell their own ads.
Money, sell your own
just
ads.
Like radio, sell your own ads.
Exactly. And I mean, they obviously don't have issues getting people other than trying to sell the naming rights for Barrie Molson Center. They don't seem to get issues as far as because, like I said, like everywhere, that new board, which is glorious, is still it's still 40% ads. So and even during the game, you could have a stream of the feed of the game on, but no, they have the ads, and that's fine. That's just how business works, and that's what they're trying to make money. So I mean, it just seems like another area that even if they were to do it themselves through their own people, or even if they wanted to reach out to the blog, I'm sure that we could try to find a way to get an online feed of a game. So just contact us if that's something anybody in the team is considering. But no, that's not, because I do not have any money to give them. So I guess what it comes down to is money, and I guess they just don't seem to feel like there's a big enough market for radio, because otherwise it would just be on the app. And I mean, that would be a huge way for them to push the app on people. Right now, the only thing that they've really got that makes the app usable for people is just basic updates, which are generally delayed and slow and don't usually come through to your phone on time. Mm-hmm. And then they've got the Colts points. So, you get your points. Oh,
your rewards points.
Your rewards program.
Yeah, you could revolutionize that. I have the app. I haven't used it lately, but I did use it when I first started checking out the Colts games. And I thought it was really slick, like the visually, the interface. It looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice. It's slick. But yeah, they could use some more. Like even this is a cheesy reference, but you go to the movies and then, all right, it's time for time play. Yeah. And they do the little games, before the movies.
I love those things in the movies.
Yeah, but why don't we have games before the Colts? Why on your phone? And then you can also collect your Colts points too with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. What are the points good for? Like the Colts store? Can I get a hoodie with enough points?
You know what? I'd have to be able to log in to see if they've revamped it since last season. I haven't, like I said, this season I've not actually seen it yet because it just gives me the Colts logo.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of just keeps spinning, and then just eventually nothing happens. So I've rebooted, I've downloaded, I've deleted, re-downloaded.
Yeah, just get a new phone.
Just get a new phone, obviously. This thing's going to be obsolete in probably a week anyways. So, but no, if they were to include it so that it's another way. So mostly with the points, I think the big things that last season anyways was you could redeem them for tickets. You could redeem them for pizza at the game. It was an insane amount of points to get a piece of pizza that's generally just really hard, weird cheese. I don't know why they can't get the pizza right at BMC.
Hard, weird cheese.
I can't even explain it. I'm trying to go through my vocabulary.
Can I get some extra hard, weird cheese on that?
I'd like my cheese extra congealed because unless and there's other things like that. I think that you can get a signed puck, a shout out. Actually, the main reason I got it at first was I was going to try to trick the team into giving my blog a shout out, because if you get I think it was 300 points or something like that. You get your Twitter
name up on the board or whatever?
On their Twitter feed, actually.
Really?
So they've got I think 26,000 followers. So I'm what great advertising for the blog.
That's exactly. There you go.
But so now I can't even log in. I don't even think.
Maybe that's why you can't log in now. They know they're on to me.
Yeah, we're not giving you advertising for your silly blog. Jeez, come to
retweet me.
Come to VeryColtsBlog.com. Don't go to Very Barrie Colts blog. It's a blog. But no, so stuff like that. I think actually the main one is you can win dinner with Dale Howard-Chuck was what the big one was. But it's you need to be a fan.
I was going to say, how many points do I need for that?
He won't even be in Barrie by the time that you accumulate enough points that would be a viable option for you anyways, right?
He'll be the assistant coach of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Right, in no time. Yeah.
Now, is it me, or is that the number one position for OHL coaches to go to the NHL? Assistant coach of the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's just
Why is it Carolina? I don't know why it's always Carolina.
Well, it's an easy transition going from whether it be a decent or a good OHL team to a mediocre NHL team.
I guess,
so instead of being thrown to one of the big guns, you just
the facilities, the locker room,
just go somewhere where people don't really care about hockey so much. That's where Andrei Svechnikov will be flying under the radar this season.
Is it he's in Carolina?
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully he'll actually I think his first game is tonight, so that should be really exciting for him. Hopefully he'll win the Calder.
I'll be sure to not watch it when I'm at the game.
Absolutely.
When I'm at the BMC.
It's brutal, some of those teams. I just everyone knows that I'm a Pens fan, but no.
I forgot you're into the Penguins.
Something.
Okay, sorry, side, not to derail things here, but
We're all about being derailed here, buddy.
Okay, Ryan's a Penguins fan. I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan.
Vicious.
And, of course, hockey fans know this is one of the most vicious rivalries. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think of Gritty?
You know, it's funny because I saw online that you had changed because I temporarily forgotten for some reason. I think it was because you were such a nice guy. I just forgot that you were a Flyers fan.
Yeah, right.
And I saw the Gritty and I was just like, my goodness, it was the best. When he came out, obviously Pittsburgh Twitter was just like,
lighting him up,
lighting him up, right? And then he went out and he had the shirt gun, and his first fire of it, he
knocks himself over
on his back. I think it was like that same game. He ends up, you know what? The amount of conversation they've started, the amount of TV shows that he's been on. Do I like him? He kind of looks like an older, like busted up version of Youppi from the Montreal Canadiens.
He's a Muppet on meth.
He absolutely is, and that's great. You know what? Honestly, for me, I feel like that really fits for the Philadelphia Flyers.
It is. It's fitting. It's the hero that Philadelphia needs and deserves.
And yes, and especially fitting. No, you know, I don't love the mascot, but as far as what he's done, like, I mean, there's been so much
great marketing move.
Great marketing move.
If only I had one of those for the Very Barrie Colts.
You know, I've been drawing up sketches of nonsensical mascots for the website, and I can't do it. I mean, essentially, I just need to like draw a mop and put it on a Colts jersey.
Have you put a cat head on Gritty yet?
Gritty has not gotten one yet. We'll talk about that.
An idea.
We'll see. It's a possibility. I just don't. You really have to like implode the size of the cat's head to fit on that head, and you would end up having so much pixelation it wouldn't translate well. So
ginger cat,
right? It would have to be an orange cat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I don't know if there's any other points. We only got slightly off topic there with the radio thing, but I think we pretty much covered
all of our bullets.
All of our bullets, you know, and it's you know, again, like we said, it's all about money, and you know, especially with attendance being questionable at Barry Molson Center, very questionable. The best night they've actually had so far was Game 3 against Sudbury the other day, which
was a blowout.
Was luckily a huge 10-3 win over the Wolves. There was only 2,641 people in attendance to witness both Suzuki and Kyoto having 5-point nights, leading to Kyoto getting the OHL Player of the Week.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of mascots, the Sudbury Wolves mascot is sad. That's a sad wolf.
It's just so depressing.
It's a sad, like, it looks like it's been drenched. Yeah. It's wet and sad looking.
There was, I can't remember, I think it might have been, I think it was Bloggers Tribune. There was a site online, and they ranked the mascots, and he didn't do well.
Way down there?
He was pretty low.
They need a mascot revamp. If they could just rip off Gritty from Philadelphia, but make it a crazy wolf, I think they've got something. I feel like
in the next 3 years, there's going to be a bunch of rip-offs of Gritty, where just all of a sudden every mascot's going to look like an animal from the Muppets.
Yeah, like Spartacat in Ottawa, already a contender.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there's so many good options to rip off that, you don't need to be just handle it like movies. Just remake something else and just hope that people have enough nostalgia towards the original product that they buy into yours.
And also, I like that Gritty makes other mascots look more normal. Yes. Like Charlie Horse here at the Barrie Colts. I mean, like, normally, oh my God, it's a walking, talking horse. What?
Freakish looking.
What the heck, you know? But now it's like, well, Gritty's out there. No, Charlie Horse. That's perfectly normal.
Walking around with his cowboy hat on.
Yeah. Because a horse with a hat.
There's not enough ads being used in BMC that they need to obviously get some on Charlie Horse as well.
It's way more normal than the crack smoking Muppet.
I wonder what it would cost for me to get a Very Barrie Colts blog hat on Charlie.
Charlie Horse?
I wonder what the rate for that kind of advertisement is.
I don't know, but I'm sure Rock 95 paid top dollar for that banner on the back of his ass.
Big money, I'm sure.
I can't even get my picture taken with Charlie Horse because of that thing. I know, there's the competition's logo over there.
This doesn't benefit me whatsoever.
I can't believe I'd mentioned my competition, but anyways, whatever.
I mean, you can't go into the arena without having your competition.
Yeah, everywhere!
As we said, it'll probably end up being the name of the arena, though. There's been no reason to actually think that. There's been no suitors. Like we said, you guys get nobody. I will give you $20 a year to put a Very Barrie Colts blog logo on the side of the arena. It's got your team name in it. We will try to only say nice things about the team, which I think to this point we've done a pretty decent job.
Oh yeah, I love the team.
It's we love the team, so just take our little bit of money that we're offering and advertise my blog for me.
But seriously, listen to 101.1 Big FM.
No, absolutely.
Seriously, no, in all seriousness.
In all seriousness, hey, they had me on, so I mean they
we can't be that bad.
We can't be that bad that
we're not talking much sports these days. It's like, oh, it's the start of the hockey season, NHL, OHL, basketball's coming. No, we're giving away cash though. We're giving away a lot of cash.
People like cash. You know what though? Like
yeah, cash is nobody has an opinion about cash. No. When you talk about sports, people are like, well, I hate that team. Or I love that team, or I hate that player. I love that player. Nobody's like, wow, I hate that Bill. Stupid Queen.
I hate money. When it's a Colts game, it's usually it's fairly quiet, but then they start doing those giveaways in the stands. You give a row ice cream, and all of a sudden everybody, it's like the team just won the Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
So it's definitely just listen to Big.
Yeah. In conclusion,
and obviously the podcast because we do stuff. I'm sure. Anyways, so this week that was pretty much it for the radio side of things. Attendance is still really bad. Actually, go over to the website. I will include the links in the body of the podcast post here. We're still looking for people that are out of town fans as well as people that are local that have been to BMC just to rate the experience, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what would maybe entice you to go to games. Right now, locally, we've had, I think, just about 100 people reply to it, and overwhelmingly, I think last time I looked, it was 79% of the people said that ticket prices was the issue. So ticket prices.
Ticket price, eh?
So just about $30 a pop. So I mean, they don't really offer any promos for anything. They don't, they don't have.
What if it's your birthday?
They'll say your name on the new board.
But you don't get a discount.
Well, Daryl meowed for me the one time.
Really?
I remember it was my birthday, and I think
that's okay.
Melissa Hamilton, because she was on that Rogers TV show with me there a few years ago.
Okay.
And we did a lot of cat bets on that, which is probably why that show only had one season. But anyways, I think she ran in and was like, when you say Ryan's birthday, meowed. And when Daryl said it, he sounded so just upset. Like
did he sound like Super Troopers? Meow or no?
It wasn't even that much enthusiasm. It was a nice gesture, and I appreciated it. But it was a little bit off.
He's like, why am I doing
this?
He's
just like, I do not get enough to do this. So, anyway, that's enough of that excitement. The Colts are coming into a weekend of they got one game at home, which is tonight against the Mississauga Steelheads. It's their first meeting of the season. Right now, Mississauga is 2-1-1-0. Right now, they are tied for points in the standings.
So this is a decisive game for the early half of the season, I'd say.
No, absolutely, for sure. And I mean, especially with it being like a rival in the division and everything like that, it's. Buy your tickets, by the way. Let's hopefully beat the season high of 2,641 fans at the arena. Should be a good game, even though actually in my notes here I was going to hype that first rounder Owen Tippett would be in the game. But just a little while ago, actually, I saw that he has been indefinitely suspended, I guess.
Really? From Mississauga?
Yeah, so for the game they had on I think it was the 30th against the Frontenacs, actually. He got misconduct in the last 5 minutes of the game. They haven't said how long the duration of the suspension was. Michael Little also got a 2-game suspension as a result of stuff. I didn't see the game, so I don't have really, other than I see that there was Little got into a fight, and it looks like Tippett got like an instigator on it and stuff like that. So he's who knows how long he's out for. However, you can still be excited to see James Hardy will be making his first appearance at the Barry Molson Center, who is a 2018 first-round pick of Mississauga. He obviously he played minor midget with the Colts. So it'll be good to see him here. He's off to a pretty good start in his rookie campaign. He's got a pair of goals in four games, so that's pretty decent. And then after that, they got Friday night off. You're going to be at the game tonight, right?
Yep, heading there. Toot sweet.
Atta boy. Excited about that?
Mississauga? Yeah, it's a good tilt, man. Like you say, they're kind of evenly matched so far in the season. So
totally, and it might be nice for padding some of these Colts stats, having one of the top players out of the lineup.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But usually you go into a game thinking, oh, look at this, we're going to steamroll a team, and then all of a sudden you end up getting thumped. So
yeah, kind of like everyone thought the Leafs were going to steamroll the Canadians the other night.
Right?
Yeah.
My goodness,
it was a little closer than that.
That defense, my goodness. Don't get me wrong, the Leafs are an offensive juggernaut.
Oh,
but defensively, they're just a dumpster fire. Yeah. My goodness. But, hopefully they'll get more good forwards to fix their defensive problems if they end up getting Nylander to agree to a contract at some point. That'll eventually happen. Anyways, so after that game, they go to Ottawa to face the Ottawa 67s. That's Saturday, October the 6th. Ottawa has a 3-3 0-0 record. The game is, of course, at TD Place, and it starts at 2 o'clock. Ottawa's got 19 goals for right now and 25 goals against, which is the third most in the league, but they are still good enough to be second in their division. So, obviously they're just squeaking through in games, but it's not hurting them in the standings. So you don't need to, I guess.
Even when Ottawa's bad, they're still not bad.
Totally, exactly. And their jerseys are pretty sharp. So even if they were bad, they look decent.
They look good.
As long as they look good, that's all that is. Same as your. Speaking of teams actually with nice looking jerseys, the next game is Sunday at the Leon Center.
Yeah. It's funny. The Kingston Frontenac's jerseys are now also the same color as Leon's, yellow and black, right?
Wow, how that worked out. I wonder if that was like a marketing strategy on Leon's point.
No. The guy who owns Leon's in Kingston is a local blowhard named Chris McKercher, and he just decided he wanted to buy the naming rights for his own ego.
Oh, that's good. I'm still trying to make a positive spin there. That's fine.
That was some major inside Kingston editorial. It's my hometown, so
we've got more insight to the front than we get for the Colts. Only at verybarriecoltsblog.com. That game as well is at 2 o'clock. Kingston right now is off to a 2-3 0-0 start, which is good enough to have them in last place in the East Division. They've got 11 goals right now, which is the second worst in the league. Only Flint is worse. I think they've only got 8, but Flint's a dumpster.
They don't have water in Flint, clean water.
Problematic. Drink, so, it's tough to score goals when you're not properly hydrated. And 13 goals against. So, I mean, that might be the game that, like I said earlier in the podcast, that we might end up seeing maybe Jack Reeves getting a start. So, a team that's not really putting up many goals might be a good chance to allow him to wet his whistle, if you will.
Ooh.
Is that appropriate?
That sounds dirty, but I like it. It
does sound dirty. We may end up losing our special rating on iTunes with that kind of profanity. But yeah, that's it for the games. And like we said, Chris here is going to be at the game tonight, so you'll probably see him wearing his big hat. So.
Yeah. I'll be around.
He probably doesn't want to be harassed, but I will tell you
to
harass.
Harass away.
He actually loves to be harassed. He still talks to me, and I mean, I've just been harassing him since pretty much we started talking there a few years ago. So
harass me on Twitter.
Yes, definitely harass him on Twitter. Actually,
send Chris McKercher send hate mail to @Big Kris Radio on Twitter at BIGKRIS Radio.
He loves hate mail, and actually, that's what I'm going to do once we get off here. Is just start sending him all the trash talk. And you can also follow me if you want, but I don't recommend it. But definitely follow the blog, which Very Barrie Colts blog on Twitter. Unlike the Colts, we have the same Twitter or Instagram name as we do
it's all lined
Twitter.
Up. Yeah.
It's all, it just makes easier marketing, easier image work for me. I only had to make one graphic, and it just worked for everything. So, it's not that I'm better at marketing, it's that I'm much lazier. So I don't want anyone to think that this was like intelligence on my part. I just didn't want to make a second graphic. So.
Nobody likes legwork.
Right now I'm putting pink on all the players, and I'm putting cat heads on people, and there's a lot of graphic work at the blog. I really don't want to stress myself out too much more on that. I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to. Anything that you wanted to hype or
go Colts, and it's been an awesome start to the season. I thought it was going to be a rebuilding year. I was wrong. Looks pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, we got some skills. So get out there, buy tickets, go to the games. Let's get some people in the arena, and maybe somebody will purchase the naming rights for Barrie Molson Center
soon.
They've only got till the end of December. So. Again, name it Very Barrie Colts Center. That's fine.
There's a guy in Kingston who might.
We have to change the colors to match.
No, just say he might want to own 2 teams. Who knows?
That's true. Why not, right?
Or two naming rights.
I hear the Colts do really well selling popcorn. So
really,
there's a lot of popcorn money out there, buddy.
Oh man, I'm hungry.
Oh, you can get your bagged popcorn.
I am. I'm ready. I'm ready for it right now.
Well, I won't hold you up any longer. We gotta let Kris go get his popcorn. Thank you for tuning in to episode 4. Thank you for coming in. It was great.
Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, this has been fun.
It was nice to have somebody on the show that actually knows how to talk into a microphone, or in this case, just my laptop.
No, that's fine, man. No, I'll come back too when next time you have real microphones.
Next time. We'll talk to our budgeting people and see if we can make that happen for you. Thank you, though. I do appreciate you coming in, buddy. It was great having you on your insights. And thanks for tuning in. Please go click on stuff at the blog and that's
the thing.
Do the thing and go Colts.
To my revolution, soon get you bruised with my movements, footprints. Music I splatter, oozes the same gruesome putrid fluid as a slain cadaver. Moving through chapels, using a scalpel to cut.